basically into the last day of games in South America. We have our kind of winners match here with Boom Esports up against Isurus, which is currently both teams being 2-0. However, one team, I'm gonna say Boom Esports here, they went 2-0 yesterday up against Imperial, and it was a slaughter. They won, I believe it was 16-2 on Inferno and 16-3 on Vertigo. That is a hell of a landslide for them. Isurus, I mean, this is a team who's had to play out 3 maps every series, have had to do a couple of comebacks here or there. I think if we're going to call favorites, Boom should be it. But Isurus, you can't really count them out.
Gonna be getting into this now. Got Yell with a little bit of support. I'm interested by this. Look at Bolts. This is a plan from Boom Esports. They've got Yell just going, yeah, I'm here. I've got my smoke. I'm waiting for you. There's no one else on the site. Make sure you just don't look in that direction. No one's gonna kill you. It's absolutely fine. And it's quite a common strategy. You have one player on B, everybody else stacks up onto A, and that player just tries to delay. The thing is, they've tried to sell it a little bit more of a fake. Of course, him being able to deny things a little bit earlier with the smoke means Bolts can just come and sit behind it with his teammate. He doesn't need to completely sell him down the river. Even still, it's looking like it's going to be a 5v2 on this side. They've also gone for the raid boss. Phelps, definitely one of, if not the most talented player in this server. And they've given him a weapon to pretty much prove that.
Well, we're seeing them start to push in here. 1962, opening things up on Yell. Lynx as well, through a smoke, takes Bolt's head clean off. Problem is now is that Boom do not have a kit for the retake here, so they're going to have to go quick. They're going to have to go fast. Will they expect Chell actually push up in the smoke? And Lynx, well, he's going to expect as his teammate does it, and Noxy pushes through, and we're looking at a flawless pistol run coming through. The raid boss Phelps is going to be here, and he's going to try to live up to his name potentially because he will be alone versus 5. Instead, just going to back off, look to save the CZ in the armor. But Isurus, they came to play here on Inferno. They've already had to play this map once, which was a 69 in their favor. But this is a team to me, Tom. I guess we have a little bit of time here that's kind of been inconsistent over the course of these last 2 days. I mean, day one, we did have Noxy lead the charge for them, and they played their match up against Imperial. He went 67 and 56. Then you had 1962, went 69, 56. And then you had Lynx, who went 40 and 52. Now, I want to point him out in particular because in day 2, when they played against Red Candids, he was the top of the leaderboard at 63 and 55 overall in this series. But out of the 40 kills he had when he was bottom fragging for his team, 21 of those came on Train. So the next 2 maps, even a map they did win 69 on, he only had 7 kills. So a little bit of inconsistency within who's like the top fragger for the team or who's really performing. And if everyone's able to fire on all cylinders like they've been able to kind of show, they can definitely be a team to beat, which maybe we're seeing here today.
The only worry for me is the fact that just looking at the actual roster of Boom, like in terms of the individual players that they have, they basically like picked up almost like the people who are left in Brazil, like some talented players in there. Like Bolts is someone who I think is criminally underrated. I think he was someone who did all right in the side of MIBR, but obviously was sort of forced out in a similar situation we saw with the guys in Ninjas in Pajamas. Like it was always the 5th player's fault. Phelps was exactly the same. Like there's no doubt that individually he's a very skilled player, but he never really fit the mold, or at least that's what it seemed. So I think Boom have done quite a good job of picking up talent. It's Yell at the helm, which I always like to see, a talented AWPer who can definitely roll well with the squad. This round, however, it's looking pretty bleak. I'd almost want to see the CT side just save their invested pistols. It's only one man really anywhere near, and as the rotations do start to come in, they're going to have to get some very quick kills if they're going to stand a chance.
I think exit frags could be something we could see with 2 players pushed down to the bomb banana. It's going to be Shaz over in towards mid. We're going to have, looks like Phelps going to be watching towards T stairs. They kind of have them locked in, and you can kind of see the way Boom are playing this out. They're still leaving 2 players over towards CT spawn, so trying to make sure to get a couple of kills, maybe still win AK or 2, but the majority of players are going to be coming down to the bottom of banana. We're going to see, I think, Boom commit some shots here, and Yell's going to get the first. Just going to trade 1 for 1. Not going to be able to rescue that weapon, unfortunately, and all the players on the T side will be heading down here. And it seems like Yell wants to continue to go for these peaks. He's getting ever so close to hitting the shots, but his teammate will fall. Looks like they only get 1 kill. Really not that big of a deal in the end of things. But they at least will save 3 players with the armor and with those pistols.
Yeah, something to fight with into the next round. And yeah, I'm actually looking forward to see Boom, because they're not a team that we've seen so far in the tournament. We've been following the route of Isurus, so this is almost like the final boss, you could say. They are going to go flawless all the way through. Of course, Argentinian team surrounded by Brazilian rosters in South America, so it would be almost perfect for them if they can fight their way through all three and take themselves the victory. There's going to be a stack on the A site. Nice start to the round already, and actually the last man to peek in is actually the one holding the bomb, so they have to be a little bit careful. Phelps is going to step up with the P250 and now leave just 2 players standing for the T's. Surely they're just going to try and opt to fall back here. They're waiting patiently to see the aggression out from Cello, but nobody's moving.
Still would be an insane round if Boom can pick this up. Again, 3 players saving from the round before. See how careful Isurus are being about this. They still might want to commit over towards A, but I find it hard for them to really commit towards the A side necessarily, because the 2 players there, well, they don't really have to fight them too much. They can kind of wait for them to get a little bit closer. Use that P250 and that deagle to their advantage. Utility, well, it's going to be a smoke, which Noxy has just picked up, and a grenade for 1962. And it looks like they will split up here a little bit. So looking to attack in towards Pit. I do like this idea. They have to hit their shots here if they want to be able to take this round.
Well, Noxy is going to do just that, and Phelps left with only a P250. Didn't really stand much of a chance from a pre-firing AK-47. However, Cello has retrieved one of his own, so an opportunity to fight this or just keep the AK into the next round. I think the Brazilians are definitely going to be pushing in here, though. A 2 versus 2 situation. Sound being made by Cello, but I don't think 1962 expected to see the AK with only 1 man standing. Cello is going to clean things up, give them their first round onto the board, and one when they had barely anything invested.
Yeah, exactly. Not big investment coming out. And they net themselves around. They net themselves 2 AKs as well on top of that. Like, you can't be any happier than that. I mean, luckily for Isurus, still, they did get the bomb down. They're still going to at least be able to force into this round, even though Reversive's only on that 2.3k. But if Boom wins this round, well, it's going to be 2-2. Then it should be up to a 3-2 for them. And that pistol round and the second round loss they had isn't going to matter too much then. And we do have Yell going straight to the AWP, so it's going to be tough for Isurus to deal with this. Are they even going to expect the off to be picked up is, I guess, going to be my question.
Money for the T's. On the brink. I always like to see those nades attempted to be dunked over the top. It's normally the B site where we see the majority of the utility usage. Try and get those deep smokes going. CTs have tried to use some on A, but anything they have has not worked too well. Arch side is already completely under the controls of the T's, and we're only, well, 40 seconds into the round. It's a bit of a worry with how much space they've actually been able to gain, but you can see this passive position of 4th player already been rotating over. Nice shot from 1962. Yells off, won't last long, and Phelps trying to make his way out of the smoke actually causes a bit of a problem. Goes in the corner, can get one. And it still leaves them in a clutch situation once again. They could have closed that out just by killing off that man, but instead, the CTs have a chance.
I do like the smoke and flashbang that Reversive has. Fortunately, he doesn't know the direction they're going to be coming from, which is both towards CT spawn. And that smoke's going to be used. If you put that smoke down towards CT, if you just knew there was 2 players there, they would have cut off the entire push in. But here we go. Now Bolt's going to lead the charge. Cello there to support. Or maybe it's the other way around. Cello's going to be the first to peek. Knows exactly where Lynx is going to be. It seems to be shot from the back. And actually, Lynx plays this perfectly. He doesn't give his position away. He lets Reversive go for the first shot. And then he peeks out to help support his teammate. Well done by Isurus. And they do shut down that potential tied up score between them and Boom.
Yeah, Boom just seeming like they lost a little bit too much map control early into that round. And even with the 4 players left to defend it, it wasn't quite enough. This round, well, they've taken a risky force buy. Their loss bonus is only at 2,400 even after a couple of rounds, and gonna take a big risk with handing that AWP over to Yell. As of right now, it's not really gonna net anything. The nades, however, gonna do a lot of damage onto Lynx, but the rest of the team and now going to come along to support him. He can safely say that nobody's pushed, at least not yet. However, Cello, again, oh, he runs out of bullets, but so does his opponent. Even still, though, eventually Noxy is going to be there to clean things up. Leave just 2 players remaining. A little bit far away from the action. The only thing is they don't really have much to save. It'll be a pistol and an SMG. 2 players desperately low on HP. It looks like Shuz, at least, is just going to save his gun.
I actually thought they might go for it, considering how low the players are. Phelps going to be coming in. I mean, you got 1962 on and Noxy, both, you know, at 21 HP combined. It's like Phelps will stick around. He's got the head armor. Throw the op out. 1962, smart play by him as well there. I was expecting Phelps to maybe push in, but maybe he's just looking for an exit frag or two. Try to use that health advantage. Maybe try to steal away a gun for the next round, and shows as well that T mid. I mean, only 12 health for 1962, so that could be a really easy kill, as well as Noxy there. So he has the potential to get a double kill. They're going to run away towards Banana. Phelps is quickly going to flank in, I believe, from B's site. And this actually might be good here for Boom. If Phelps can stay alive from the explosion, he does. First, the kill going to come in, though, on a Shiz. And Phelps comes in from behind. He rescues an M4 as well. Only 1 kill, but still at least 1 weapon brought into the next round. That could have been way worse for Isurus, though.
If there's anyone I want to have a hero rifle in this round, it would be Phelps. But at the same time, a 4-1 scoreline. Isurus actually taking a pause. As we've said before, they seem to be the team most willing to use their tactical pauses, not afraid of running out. And yeah, I like it. I like seeing a team basically willing to slow things down before things go wrong. I think that's something that teams actually, a lot of teams do quite badly, is you wait for things to go wrong and then you go, okay, how do we fix this? Whereas it seems like Isurus almost have a proactive mentality, like, okay, something could have gone wrong there, so let's talk about it before it does. And then or even if they're just setting up a plan into the next round, just going, okay, this happened, this happened, this happened, how can we capitalize? And it normally means that a lot of the time they're able to either stop big streaks from other teams, and then come back in the match, which is something they've done a few times now. I think they were the team 7-0 down on Train and actually came back to win. And that was while they were on the CT side, which is kind of crazy.
Impressive. I think they're one of the few teams I've ever seen actually use all the pauses in a half or in a match and do it so consistently. But I do like it. I agree with what you're saying. I agree on that topic. I mean, I think teams could learn a little bit from that. Reversive, though. 2 kills. Jazz gonna have the M4, but he doesn't expect Reversive to still be there, so quick little trip kill comes in. And that saved M4, unfortunately for Boom, hasn't netted them anything. So my question of what Boom would show up today, and I guess technically what Isurus would show up today, I think the questions might have been answered, though it is still earlier on in the series. Bolts. A little of a deagle shot from the top of Banana. You might be able to rescue the 1 weapon, but that's going to be Deco there to look to stop it. And that first kill is still important as well, to just take the 8K out of the hands of Cello. Isurus 5-1 now.
I think I'm enjoying Isurus playing CS more and more every day. I think it might be partly because we're getting to know like the team a lot better. Like starting to realize who to watch, the stars, like who's going to be the more explosive player. I think Deco definitely is like that up and coming star who, when he does play well, he seems to just take over a map, and it is thoroughly enjoyable to watch. Lynx as well, when he's able to get things going with the AWP. That's the only problem. It seems like he's a little bit more inconsistent than the rest of the squad, which, if it's your AWP, that can be a problem. Like it almost gives me like old school Makalele vibes, where if he plays well, they basically guarantee the win. If he doesn't, then he can go completely missing. Not even just like off a little bit, like really far down the board, which, sure, I've got a limited sample size. It might just have been him having a bad day, but it seems to be something that happens quite a lot.
Big aggressive push. First going the other way. There actually is not even a smoke at the bomb Banana, and yet they're still willing to fight it. Yell with the op yet again. Denies any sort of push out of Deco coming in towards apartments. And this is looking like a very clean round here for Boom. Finally getting some weapons on the board and getting some confidence back. The bomb now down. It's all at 1962 with that 13 HP. For the player towards Banana. Ready to cut him off if he does push up or if he backs away. And even Phelps. He's looking confident. And why wouldn't you? Yesterday, he went 36 and 20 in their stomp of a match, a 16-2, 16-3 scoreline. And I think that's a man that they're going to have to really be careful of and maybe even look to take a timeout against, because when Phelps gets going, I don't think he really stops.
Oh, I think it's a fact that if he'd joined any other team other than MIBR, he would have been the star in that team. He's a fantastic individual player. They tried to fit him into the roster, but it just didn't really work. So I'm hoping that Boom, especially on the T side, have just let this man loose, because even when like MIBR had him in the mix, like he was still able to do so much damage in that roster. Sure, it didn't seem to work for some of the other players, or maybe other people took the hit, but he really was aggressive. He really was clinical. Well, man himself once again. He's going to give the man advantage back to the CT side. However, Reversive has gone so far through. This is an opening in the defense. I don't really know how he got here, because Shiz is standing around the corner, probably just as confused as his in-game leader. It's given them an opening. Now going to have to kill him, but that's exactly what Deco will do. And now, well, a 2v2. I think it's one apiece in 2v2 clutches. Boom managing one. Isurus the other. Oh, we're back into a 1v1 now.
Not quite the, 2v5 clutches we saw happen time and time again yesterday. Cello, I mean, what do you do? Just potentially save the AK? You got the head armor, you got some utility, pushes in, and unfortunately doesn't expect Deco to be there. I mean, I guess in the 1v1 you got to go for it. But there's so many angles to cover, and Deco, again, 7 kills for him. We've seen him kind of like rise and fall on the scoreboard. I think he's been probably like the most consistent player in the team. He was second place at 59 and 63, and I don't have the exact number in front of me, but I know for a fact he was third place in his team in their match versus Imperial. So I guess he's probably one of the most consistent players within this roster. But again, you look at like that whole, transitive property thing, right? Of A is bigger than B and B is bigger than C, and then A is bigger than C kind of thing. But the thing is, like, Isurus struggled like hell against Imperial to win. They, like you said, had to come back on train CT side down 0-7 and then eventually win the match. And then you look at Boom in their match versus Imperial, and they stomped them, giving them 5 rounds total in 2 maps. Like, it's really hard, I think, to do that in general when it comes to CS, especially to a region in particular that plays against each other all the time. But we're not seeing that Boom from yesterday so far. We see glimpses of it, I'd say, but not quite that full team yet.
Might just be down to differences in structure. I think the Isurus definitely have a good core of players, and at the moment it seems like they're not really giving any opportunities over to the CT side to basically make those hero plays. But just as I say that, Shuz is going to get a couple. The trade is there eventually, but it comes at the cost of a dink. Lynx in the meantime trying to make his presence known over to Banana. It's a very deep position from Cello, meaning if he dies, this could be the round over. And in fact, they're now going to be in quite a bit of trouble. There's no one else able to get there in time. Sure, maybe there'll be a few bullets spammed through from bolts, but he actually has an SMG, so it might just be worth being a bit more sneaky, trying to get his way close to the site where his gun's a little bit more effective. He's patient for 1962, but well, the years have gone by, and he's been left behind.
Deco, low health, still pushed up towards sandbags. Oh, they're not even going to check him. He should be able to win the round right off this alone. He catches Yell out as well. Zurus, Deco in particular, this man is going off, up to 10 kills now for his team, and he's had so many crucial rounds as well. Zurus are looking phenomenal today, and the worst part of that was the fact that they were so pushed up. I believe that was that Bolt pushed up? I was Cello pushed up at Banana. Gets caught out sandbag instead of playing more passive to play for a retake. And then the only player there to help out, which was Bolts, who had the SMG, like, as he finally gets there, it's not the most ideal weapon, right? You have to wait for the flank to come in from Banana to help you out. And even Yell had to drop the AWP he had in the round that he picked up just to switch over to the AK. So they lose on more fronts than just one, but 7-2. Argentinians have shown up today.
Yeah, I'm really not a fan of that commitment from Cello. I think that's a spot that's too much of a risk, and sure, maybe the 50% of the time he's going to get a double kill there, but it's just the rest of the time. It's not worth it. Like, a lot of people would just shoulder peek on Banana and basically just jump spot, and there's a lot less of a chance of you getting wrecked like he was. And then you can fall back and you can call for rotations. Any utility you do have, you can throw out to deny them. That was a one and done. If he doesn't get the kill, he loses the round for his team. If he does, well, who knows what happens. And, well, same spot once again. This time, I can forgive him a little bit more, of course. It's just pistols in this round, so you're going to take more risks. Bolts.
Oh, my God.
Just use the Deke, mate. It's ridiculous at this point. Just...
Who was that yesterday? Or was that day one that we saw that kept doing that? Actually, no,
Yay.
it was Yay, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, yeah, I think he had, what was it, 8 or 9 kills with pistols in the first half, and then only had like 7 with rifles.
Yeah. And Bolts might be looking for another here, too. Actually, he's been spotted behind Fountain, but doesn't seem to matter. He hits the double shot, looking for another. So close. But look at this Phelps. He's in behind him. If he can connect these shots, they can win the round right here. He gets the first. Looking for number 2. He gets Decker down to 8 HP, and the flank's going to come in. Yell's going to be decimated, though, and Reversive as well takes Phelps out of the fight. There was such a chance for Boom to win the round. Won't be able to clutch it out here, but at least getting quite a few weapons off the side of Isurus. But that definitely had the potential to be an upset round.
Yeah, and they won one of those earlier, so I feel like the success rate of Boom has almost been as good with these pistol force buys. They get a bit more aggressive, they take more map control, they take risks, basically, and, well, the one round that they did win, again, was off individual brilliance. It was off a spray down coming out from Phelps, and then getting aggressive to close out the final. So, this time, looks like they are going to challenge for map control. Deep smoke onto Banana. Not actually going for anything here. They're going to throw down the secondary, and I wonder if this will now be Bolts actually looking to try and fight that position. They're going to use a lot of utility to try and clear out all these angles, and unfortunately, they haven't quite realized yet that in the meantime, the T's are all setting up over onto A.
They actually took more damage from their own utility than the enemy team took. Fun enough. Bolt's taking 3 health. Yeah, but Molotov. I'll still count it. Noxy, though, we've seen him do this before. He likes to push up and get aggressive in towards Library, where that's going to be Phelps waiting. And Phelps, well, got his teammate to cover him off. Deco again, I'm looking at him. As Yell gets, I think, a collateral there. Deco 1962 now trying mid. Deco again! What is this guy on? 13 kills. He opens up the site. Eventually going to be shut down by Cello, but 1962 now in a 1-on-2 situation.
Good chance here, especially with a battle versus Cello. He may not expect the apartments push, though. The Molotov will only hold back somebody from short. However, jump now might give things away. In fact, it will, but 1962 can't quite connect the shots in the corner. A third round for Boom. Again, though, I hate to say it, I feel like that's almost solely off an individual double kill that came out from Yao. Like, if that didn't happen, it's really hard to see that going any other way. And actually, it almost did. The T's almost managed to pull that back. So, too close for comfort. Luckily, the last few rounds being close, thanks to that pistol round where only one player survived. The money on the T side is actually not great. Now, if you can get to, say, 6-7 rounds on the CT side, it's not the end of the world. It's definitely still possible. And looking at the roster that Boom have, I would actually expect them to do a better job on the T side.
Yeah, I mean, especially what we've seen like in the last few days with Inferno and with all the maps in general. And of course, Boom. I mean, they've been hitting some crazy shots. It just seems like, you know, Deco has just been shutting them down. I mean, you talk about if Yale doesn't hit that double, it wouldn't have been as close as it was. Same for Deco. If he doesn't hit that double in towards pit and towards sight, that also could have been the round easily going the way of Boom there. Yale's going to be there to help support as he gets 1 kill, gets his double as well. The bomb now down. Aggressive play in towards apartments does not work out for the side of Isurus this time. Nox is not quite able to hit that spray down towards Library. So down to the 1-on-4. Boom will finally be able to take 2 rounds straight, it seems. Taking a hell of a lot of rounds to get there, but finally 4-8.
Yeah, now they really do have an opportunity to get right back into this game. Like it's not over by any stretch. You can see Isurus are going to take another pause.
That's their 3rd one, and they only have 4 total. They really are not shy about this, huh?
I think they actually just feel more comfortable using them on their T side. I don't know if you've noticed that, but I feel like most of their pauses are taken on their T side, no matter what map we're playing. Just because I feel like they can make more adaptations of what they've seen and what the in-game leader's actually calling. Maybe even just setting up what they're going to do in each round, which it's not the most conventional thing to do. As said, most people do it when something's going wrong, but I guess in these sort of circumstances, if you're going to have eco rounds and you can work out what's going wrong and you're allowed to talk to your coach all the time, you can actually use your pauses just to take a moment to actually set up what you're doing rather than completely investing them all into, oh my god, it's going wrong, let's try and fix it.
I do actually find it really interesting that coaches can talk whenever they want to during this, but you know, whereas in most tournaments they can only talk during a timeout. Obviously, it's hard to enforce, you know, him not being able to talk. Wow, Isurus, they are just running into every point of damage they possibly can. Hungry hippos for damage here on the B site. I know Nox is the last one alive against 5, and yeah, I mean, if he wins this, okay. Well, I didn't even have time to think about what I would do, and boom, take another.
Quick clean-up round and a 5th for the Brazilians. As said, I wouldn't be overly surprised if they were able to do some real damage on the T side. Looking forward to seeing what Phelps can do within this roster. As said, I think he's brilliant mechanical skill. Here we go, an aggressive play coming out from Phelps. Look where he currently is. He went all the way up to the stairs. Actually going to be able to fall back. Not too much of a worry. Although the T side are going to have to go back and just try and clear all these angles. And in the meantime, while they're doing that, the CTs have decided to try and challenge for Banana. The deep smoke is going to allow for that. Although it seems like the Ts are actually going to use some utility to try and take it back. Cello is that in the corner, not going to be expected. Still not going to be expected, actually. Lynx doesn't even look in his direction. He was using an AK, so it should have not only made an incredibly loud noise, but also come up on the map, but you can forgive. Well, 2 players left with the bomb down. This is going to be a little bit difficult. They're actually going to wrap round into Yell, who's just patiently waiting for any sort of aggression. Yeah, it seems like all it took is a couple of decent rounds out from Boom, a bit of confidence, and taking banana control. I think that's been the big difference. They've not allowed Isurus to set up. They've not allowed them to actually control the portions of the map that they had earlier on, and it's become a little bit more difficult for them to play.
I feel like this is kind of a common story for with Isurus, is that they can start to take some rounds on like T side, but then they're not able to make that like adaptation towards like the second half of their T side play. I feel like we've seen so many maps now out of them where they just seem to lose quite a few in a row without really being able to like break that new defense the enemy team puts up. And with this aggressive play towards second mid, I mean, obviously you're not really gonna expect it on the T side, especially since we haven't really seen Boom do it too often. But it will put them a man down, and well, yeah, they're pretty much just on pistols. They do have the Mac 10 for 1962, but I don't know if that's gonna really be enough for them to deal with Yell on the AWP, who's been hitting some consistent shots, up to 9 kills now. And Boom aren't really getting aggressive anywhere to give an opportunity for Isurus to get a kill.
Expecting aggression, but while they're waiting, the CT side have fallen back. They're even looking to try and send an extra man, bolster their A site defense a little bit. That will be Cello. They've left Bolts all alone. In the meantime, it's not going to matter. They're going to go pushing in, and one by one they fall. Sure, there's a battle going on Banana at the same time, and eventually Lynx will lose that one. A good comeback in the end from Boom to make this an 8-7 half, but ultimately it's still Isurus going in with a lead for that CT half start. We'll be back after a short break. See you then.
heart into something gold. Knew I sold my soul to the devil long ago. I rode it all along on your wave right before it broke. Time was thrown down the well, so I let you go. What I do right now. What I do right now for you, for you. Carolina skies in the night, floating by your side. I fell up when you fell down, but we stayed in flight. I'm laughing to myself, 'cause I know that I can't deny. I can't find what you can't hide right inside my mind. What I do right now. What I do right now for you, for you.
Well, the first half ended as close as it could be, but even still, it was a very strong start on the T side from Isurus. They've gone in with the lead at the half, and Jason, believe Boom are going to be able to take this through on the T side, or is it just going to be the Argentinians, well, finishing it off?
I want to say so. I want to say Boom. Like, they should be able to. Like, they finally got some momentum, right? They did lose, 5 out of the first 6 rounds of the half, but they did win 5 straight to close it out with, and it seemed like, in general, they got a better understanding of the way that Isurus were playing out this map. But obviously, swapping sides, things will get a little bit different. There's only 2 players at the A site. They're quickly actually barreling in towards this position. They're going to send 3 players over towards Arch. I wonder if they're going to wrap back into site, or maybe go back into CT. And you can already see Yell getting the initial contact up against 1962. I don't think they're going to expect only 2 players to be here, but that early investment of 3 towards B does not work out for Isurus. And Boom will get the bomb down here towards A.
Oxy desperately hoping for someone to cross, and they do, but he's hit him a little bit lower than he intended to. Yell holding from the mini pit now is going to make things very difficult indeed, and in fact, he may not even be needed. Phelps and Cello in more aggressive positions, and, well, Shiz in a very aggressive position, hunting those kills down, but ultimately it will be Phelps to add another couple to his tally. As said, I think the T side is where he in particular will shine. Like, I think he's a force to be reckoned with. Cello and Bolt seem to also be performing. Yell on the AWP. It's not really been a bad performance from the whole squad. Like, normally when you see like a struggle for the CT side, it's somebody carrying you through. And sure, in each individual round, there normally was somebody. But if they can pull that same mentality onto the T side, this is probably going to be quite tough for Isurus. And, well, they've decided it's worth the investment in this round. It means that when they do finally get the full buy, well, that is assuming they don't win this round, it will mean that they are going to have whatever they want. They can have the AWPs, the utility, all the rifles. They do win this round, of course. They'll get a nice boost. 3 SMGs and a couple of AKs to be had on the other side. Actually, a fair amount of utility for Isurus to actually try and just hold them back and slow them down.
I think like the problem for Isurus here is that they have to really be careful of how explosive like Boom can be. You know, no pun intended here. I mean, they just ran straight into the A side on pistol round. I think they have to expend a lot of utility early in these rounds. I mean, it's obviously Inferno, you're gonna do that anyways, but I feel like they're gonna have to do even more to deal with the way Boom might play. I think maybe taking control of Banana would be a good start. When I see the push come in, the smoke not quite covering off the entire push in towards short, but it seems like they're gonna push through it directly in. 1962. He's got the 5.7, has the ability to insta headshot. Then the smoke goes down. Actually, this smoky trouble out the flashbang as well. He looks to push through it, but it doesn't seem to matter. Yell's gonna get the kill blind or not blind. Now there's 2 players, one tucked away in towards site. The other 2 gonna be coming in from T mid. So they actually might get a perfect flank here if they time things properly, but they've lost everyone on the site. Reverso gets the first kill. Noxy as well. The bomb's still here. The bomb's still on the site. And now it will go down with Reverso now in a 1-on-3 with the AK.
Not a bad start. First kill on the headshot. Yell playing so close. I don't think he's going to expect him to be here. Almost manages the shots onto him. I think he might have headshotted him long ways through the box, which doesn't do anywhere near as much damage as it probably should. Yell is going to live to fight another day. Final tactical pause called. They do not have another. So either they're going to have to try and force Boom to take one, or you know, maybe kick out a power cable and have a little chat. Not that I'm suggesting they would ever do anything like that. No player has ever done that ever, I'm sure. But maybe they should.
Yeah, you know, the funniest thing is like how often there's tech timeouts for mic issues or something like that. You would think, you know, being pro players they'd be competent, but you know, apparently a lot of them don't know how mics work or headphones
well,
work.
I guess you got to be careful also what you blame your problem on. Like, just, oh, we got a mic issue. It's like, aren't you sponsored by... And it's like, no, it was a mouse issue. What about your peripheral? Chair? Oh, nope, sponsored on that too. My hand...
It's the energy drink
I hit my... Yeah, you can't even use that one. It gave too much energy to my mouse with all the electrolytes and other good made-up words.
I could just see them being super slow. Okay, that's a big rush out of Zerg trying to make something happen. I could just see them, like, taking, like, a really long time, like... Oh, so what's the tech issue? Well, and then in their head, they're going through every scenario through all their sponsors. Like, which one can I pin it on? Or what can I pin it on? So a little bit of a throwaway round there.
Blame your power cable or something. No one has a power cable sponsor.
You say that, but, you know, there's some power cable company out there like, how can we break into esports?
Sponsor me. I will give your power cable this great shout out. It's never done me wrong. Tombiz is offline.
He's burnt to a crisp.
What happened to my hair? Oh, this is what I mean, though. He may have padded his stats a little bit with the eco round, but Phelps back in action, wrecking Lynx. We sort of mentioned that he's a little bit hit and miss. A player that when he does step up, it seems to go very well for Isurus, but definitely not got the same level of consistency as some of the other players on the roster. Noxy as well. Had a very good game, actually, of Inferno the last time we watched them play it. Might have skewed their stats a little bit. Of course, there's only actually been a couple of games over the last 3 months on this map for Boom, but they have both been very dominant victories, so it's definitely the biggest test they've got so far. However, so far, so good. They're going to be able to get right up the top of Banana once again. Of course, Cello's still using a Mac 10, so he can almost be used as a scout to find information, maybe do some damage, and then allow his teammates to trade. You can see Phelps is stood right behind him, just ready. The second this man goes down. And this is what I like. See, however, Reversive gets 2. That's not bad at all, but his teammate gets absolutely nothing. And now with 2 players on the CT side looking to try and get there as quickly as possible. The question is, Jason, is it worth the risk?
We'll see if this straight no if you don't get the first kill. I think Deco doesn't want to let this one go, though. Well, at least catch bolts. But now on the 1-on-2 and the 1-on-1 now. Yelva with AWP towards the back of sight. And he gets the shot. Deco again. This man was so crucial on their performance on the T side, but look at him now on 16 kills. He's going to pull off the clutch in a 1-on-3, a round he should never have been able to win. It will take Isurus up to 9 rounds now, and he's going to save the op as well for Lynx.
I don't know how he did that. I'll be honest. I feel like you have to look at Boom and say, how did you let that happen? But at the same time, it seemed like he just walked in and pre-fired pretty much all the angles that they were sat in, waiting for him. Of course, you'd say that a more passive hold from the T side probably would have net them the win, but in that scenario, you can't really blame them too much. Like, they just got absolutely ruined. Luckily, it could actually work in their favor. If they win this round, the CT side are going to be in an even worse trouble than if they just lost the last. Of course, I'm not suggesting that Deco should have given up on that clutch, but they've now got to be very careful of Phelps. He is hiding within the smoke. He's being used as bait. Cello is spraying through, just causing them problems. And Phelps, this is probably going to be the easiest kill he's ever had. I thought he was going to go for a knife, but just wanted to make sure that there was absolutely no way Reversive could turn around. And Jason, this round is over.
Yeah. Before we even had a chance to. And, like, why would you ever expect someone to push up the smoke like that? But he's able to do it. He really didn't even need to get any of those kills because he still had so many teammates there. And it looks like Isurus is just going to have to go for the full save off the back of this. They didn't go towards Lynx. Remember the op they did save from Deco in the last round in the 1-on-3. It's not really been able to really use it so far, I feel like, on the CT side. And Boom get around without taking a single point of damage. I had to look at the feed just to make sure I was right. A single point of damage. It's always the worst when you say that, and then you look like someone's at 99.
Will
They're gonna chase this down.
Read. Already removed one gun. Don't have the most money themselves, but that is perfect. Clearing out all the remaining players. Boom are now going to get to their 11th, and more importantly, this is what I was talking about. The damage they have done is catastrophic. Isurus, it should be nothing invested into this round, really. Maybe a P250, a flashbang. But even that would probably be extra utility removed from the previous rounds. And again, it's that man highlighted on your screen, 22 and 11 for Phelps. It's not like anybody else on the team has been slacking. He's just been leading the way.
Yeah, I mean, there's honestly been some great individual performance kind of on both sides, I'd say, too. Like, Phelps at 22, but Deco, like, I think he's one of the sole reasons they've been able to take so many rounds. Noxio's going to get caught out on the push in towards Banana, though. Like a relatively clean take. Here's what we're going to see is there's still rotate players into CT. I mean, again, it's just the pistols. Not really expecting too much here. Should be a Boom getting to 12. Just whether how cleanly they do it, because their money, it's not the best state at the moment. I mean, the most they have is, what, 3.6 on bolts, but getting this round without losing a single one would really set them up nicely throughout the rest of this map. Oh, look at Lynx, though.
Remaining 2 CTs. Just hoping to do a bit of damage. The fact that Cello's been dinged up twice there and still has 71 damage, or health even, is probably a little bit annoying. But, yeah. Nice few eco frags. Now 12 and 9. CT side, they have to start bouncing back here. The real worry as well is I feel like Boom are one of those teams where I reckon if they were shut down, it might take them a little bit longer on the T side to actually come up with a counter strategy, although they definitely have the talent. I think Yell is also a pretty decent in-game leader. But at the moment, they're not really having to do anything ingenious. They have players pushing into their angles. They're winning the opening duels. They're setting themselves up nicely so that all they have to do is trade. And at the moment, Phelps is everywhere. He's left a man on just 16 HP. It's desperate for Deco to try and survive, and I don't believe he will get away with this. In fact, Cello dunks him out before anything more can happen. Now, they do have to juggle around some weaponry. There are 2 players low, so it's not over just yet, but it is definitely tough.
I mean, it's what you said. There's nothing fancy in the way of Boom are playing. They're just kind of, I hate to say it because I always hate this term, but it kind of proves to be a little bit true here, is they're just kind of out-aiming them. They're just outplaying them. They don't need to do anything spiffy, nothing too crazy. Just rely on the individual skill. Get the trades where you need them. We'll be pushing back into the A site where there will be 2 players, so the majority is there's remaining players left on this site. But still with 40 seconds left, you can see they've not really forced it just yet. They're still trying to be careful, try to maintain that economy. Make this as punishing as you can for the other side. Nox is going to round the corner for information. He's going to be spotted. Now they're going to head towards, I thought it was towards B, as we saw for a split second there. And they still actually might be heading that way. 1962's pushed up Banana. There's an opportunity. Well, he was pushing to maybe get a kill here. Takes down Yell. The bomb heading back towards the A site, but he's going to fall out and goes back towards B. Kind of ring around the rosy going on for him, but eventually they will close it out. 13-9, and the money, again, not there for the CT side.
$13 and 9 already. See the push. Tempted, or at least some nades. The problem is the CT side just don't have the money to really go for anything. And I feel like there's so many players on Boom at the moment who are just hunting for those eco frags. And they're not being punished. That's the worst thing about it. Like, you see somebody getting that aggressive, like you saw it in previous rounds, Bolts would one dig them when we'd carried on with the round. In this scenario, not the case at all. Cello's been looking for those kills. I think Phelps and him are almost having a race to see who can kill everybody off. In this scenario, the race is going to lead to nothing, though. There's nobody on the B site. It's a full A site stack, although the B site has definitely been the more push site for Boom so far. They've been very successful, so there's not really been much of a reason to change. Sure, in the last round, they were spread across the map a little bit. Nice work, at least, from Lynx. He will be able to retrieve an AK-47, or 1962 will. So that's an extra gun. Of course, they are going to be buying into the next round no matter what. They've got the maximum loss bonus, so plenty of cash available for them there. However, this is already looking pretty bleak. Deco, not even going to spot Cello. Oh, is he going to let the second? He's going to let him pass. This is just mean. 2 kills for Cello. He's doing this in rounds where they don't even have weapons.
I think we've been seeing as well is that when Isurus have tried to control Banana, it still doesn't work out for them. Because you've seen what Phelps push the smoke, catch him out, kill one, they take the B site. They even tried being super aggressive with it with the incendiary grenades. One thrown from middle to block off T stairs, one thrown from Banana to block down bottom of B. And yet, when they do that, they still lose more players than they kill. So it's not like they're actually gaining any ground when they do that. They're not really being successful in those plays, and somehow Boom's able to punish them over and over again when they try to take this aggressive holds. I think that's why we're seeing them play a little bit more passive, especially with the double op setup, with the mindset of we're going to have to play passive now, try to make these ops work. But I hope for their sake they don't try to set Sun up Banana with it, because it's just not working for them.
I think that's their attempted counter, is get aggressive, try and just work the picks, because they're losing opening duels every single round. Instead, I agree. I don't think that was ever going to work. It was just a last-ditch effort from the CT side to try and get something going. And, well, already, that could be the round over right there. They've already smoked them out. They've got an opening kill. There's only one man trying to defend it. It's Reversive, who's going to get completely Molotoved off. Phelps is even just waiting in a punished position. Well, a 4v3, an after-plant situation. You almost feel like the CT side might as well go for this one, because they're not getting anything done in the actual slow rounds either. So why not try and go for a retake here?
Yeah, you got nothing to lose. I mean, you could play technically for overtime if you really want. It looks like, yeah, Deco wanted to go for it there, but the rest of the team, I guess, making the call, no, back away. Try to play for the overtime, which we did have happen yesterday, to be fair. We did get to an overtime match. Double check my notes. That was the envy game. Good job, Jason. But anyways, still, we have seen overtime at least once in the last 2 days for us. We'll see if they can potentially make it happen here, though I would say, even with the double op saved, they're just not really able to get the picks with it so far. And it all comes down to this, right? This is their map choice. We're going on to Mirage next, which is Boom's choice.
I'm really worried for them when it comes to Mirage. Like, I think they'd need to pull off some sort of miracle play to beat them there, just because this isn't even the most like aim-heavy map in the game, and Mirage almost definitely is. They currently have a 100% win ratio over the last few months, and they've already looked unstoppable in this tournament so far. So I'm quite worried for Isurus at this point. They do have a purchase into this round. It's not a bad one for sure. They've still got the double orbs, but there's utility missing, which is pretty much the most important thing. And well, Shiz is already going to get a double entry here. Phelps with another. He'll eventually get traded out, and Shiz is fairly low on HP, but almost just used as bait for bolts, as the only man left is going to be Noxe. 1 versus 3. Spots out a player, but isn't quite quick enough, and now gives away his position. Making his way through this smoke is going to be tough, and it's just not going to be happening. Map 1 is gone in a flash as an almost flawless T-side comes out from Boom Esports.